been considering adding a Bull Terrier to your family, but maybe you don't know anything about them. Well, continue watching because I am going to give you the lowdown on the breed personality and what these guys are actually like. So I actually get asked this question a great deal on Facebook from different Facebook users in different dog groups. So I really wanted to make a video letting people know what the breed really is like. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details on training or nutrition or anything like that here. This is just basically a general about the breed, so you can kind of get a better understanding of what it's actually like to live with them or to own one. So the breed personality, these guys are in general very funny, goofy, happy-go-lucky. They're very good-natured. They are super social, a very people-oriented breed. They love people. They're super independent thinkers, but they're very, very smart. They're very intelligent. They are a super strong-willed breed and they have a very strong personality. And because of this, this can be very difficult for people who are new to owning dogs or just new to the breed in general. If you're not used to such a strong personality dog that really gets in your face and, you know, makes you pay attention to them, then you're definitely going to have a little bit of an adjustment period with these guys. But these guys are hilarious. They have an awesome sense of humor. They're not very biteable when it comes to training them or working with them. They want to do what they want to do. But overall, they are pretty amenable to discipline. So if you tell them enough times not to do something, they'll generally, you know, sort of, oh man, but they'll generally, you know, won't hold a grudge against you. So in general, which is something you'll probably hear me say quite a bit, the breed has its own set of quirks and characteristics, but of course every dog is an individual, so some dogs, they do tend to flow away from the breed a little bit, and others are completely spot on. In general, the breed tends to be high to medium level energy, which if you're not a high energy level person or you don't really like getting out and doing stuff or being on the go, this will probably not be a good breed choice for you because these guys love to get out and do things. They're very active, they're very sporty. They tend to have a strong or high prey drive when it comes to chasing things like it can be a kid on a bike, it can be small animals or wildlife like deer, things like that. These things can be managed for the most part, but just be prepared to actually take a lot of time in learning how to manage that through training and spending a ton of time actually training. As you can see, she's very characteristic of the breed and she does have a very high prey drive. But at the exact same time, I worked with her so that when she was young, when bringing him in, so she's very respectful of cats and understands that some things are just not allowed to be chased. And cats and small animals and wildlife are some of those things. So training these guys is definitely different from training other breeds. The way that it's different is these guys are not very biteable, and like I said earlier, they're very independent thinkers. They want to do what they want to do. It's a lot like if you were trying to train a human child, a toddler, in that if they have their mind set on doing something, that's what they're going to do, and not very much is going to dissuade them from doing that. So it really takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a whole lot of patience in order to train even the very basic of things. Generally, with other dogs that are more biteable, if you can teach them things, you know, within a week, expect a couple of months to train the exact same thing in these guys. And it's not that they're stupid, it's just that they're stubborn, they have a short attention span, and if you don't keep it really fun and really interesting every single time, or if there's anything better that they think is better for them to do, they're going to blow you right off. Sometimes with training, food doesn't always work. And sometimes with training, toys don't always work. So you really got to think outside the box a great deal with these guys. Now wait. You wait. Everyday life with these guys is really very much like having a toddler around. This is a breed of dog that I really tell people you really need to be dedicated to. This isn't a breed of dog where you can just get it and expect it to pay attention to itself. These guys really do expect people to pay attention to them all the time. You don't get a break.
Mommy! Mommy! Mama! Mama! Mama!
What?
Hi.
If you can have so many puzzle toys and different toys for them to play with and interact with on their own. You can have other dogs around. You can have a huge backyard with all the things to smell and do, and if you're not involved in any of that, they don't want anything to do with that, because they would literally rather sit there and stare at whatever you're doing and sit in your lap for hours on end than keep themselves entertained. And if you don't keep them entertained, no matter how exhausted you are or how busy you are or how much work you have to do, if you don't keep them entertained, they will keep themselves entertained. And by doing that, they can be extremely destructive. They will destroy your house, they will chew things up to get your attention. This is just the breed and the way that they are. Hey, sit, sit, sit. As you can see, she's getting very antsy because she wants a toy. Sit. Hi. Sit. You know how to sit. So those are really some of the cons. Because this breed is very athletic, very energetic, and very intelligent, they really need somebody who is very dedicated to their care and making sure that they get a lot of time. So if you're somebody who works all day long and when you come home you just want to be left alone to sit and relax and do nothing, this probably isn't a dog for you. That's not to say you can't have a job or work all day. The problem is, after work, you have to be willing and happy to come home and exercise and work your dog and spend time with your dog. This breed, I've mentioned, is very athletic. They're very sporty and they're very versatile. They have the ability to do a lot of different sports. They can do agility or lure coursing, dock diving. They can do obedience or rally, barn hunt. They are really great at. I've seen many who are excellent at bite sports. I've seen several who are great with weight pulling or wall climb. This is a very active and versatile breed, and there's a lot that you can actually do with them. And in my opinion, this is something that many owners should take advantage of, one thing or another. These guys are not really recommended for beginning dog owners, just because you do need quite a bit of know-how. Because of this, I also suggest that you always get your dog from a reputable source, whether it's a reputable rescue or shelter, or if it's a reputable breeder if you are looking for a puppy. Health problems with this breed are quite a few, actually. This is a breed that they can suffer from heart conditions, they can suffer from failing kidneys, they can suffer from deafness, and despite what many people believe, it doesn't have to be just white dogs that can suffer from deafness. Colored or puppies that come from colored parents can also suffer deafness. They also are very prone to skin sensitivities, food allergies, and environmental allergies. And this can be very costly, and it can also be incredibly frustrating to deal with. Skin sensitivities don't exactly get cured. So a Bull Terrier with skin sensitivities or food allergies or environmental allergies, this is something you have to deal with for the length of the dog's entire life. This isn't something that just goes away on its own. So you have to really be proactive in taking care of these things. Now, a lot of them are actually pretty mild and can kind of clear up just from a change in diet, making sure you get the best food, or making sure that you use a decent shampoo, or making sure that your dog takes a regular allergy medication. Others not so much, and they're incredibly serious. I've seen dogs that actually had to be euthanized because their skin sensitivities were so bad the dog couldn't live a normal life. Bull Terriers can also be prone to neurological disorders such as seizures or OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. This is actually not as common as many people believe it is, but it does happen. So make absolutely sure that you buy a puppy or from a reputable source, or you adopt from a reputable rescue. Grooming these guys is actually super easy, but just because they have short hair, a lot of people believe that they don't shed. They do shed. They shed generally twice a year for males, and for intact females, they'll shed twice a year with the season changes along with when they go into season. So that's about 4 times a year. But if she's spayed, you don't really have to deal with 4 times, only the change in seasons. I held up 3 fingers. I don't know why. But overall, it's pretty simple to groom them. All you really need is a rubber curry brush, such as a Kong Zoom Groom. There are other brands out there, but I just prefer the Kong, and they're the easiest, most recognized to find. But a rubber curry brush works really well, and I generally just give my dogs a brush down during their heavy shed seasons. Or I will give them a brush down just in the dry weather to help stimulate their natural oils in their coat to help with their dry skin. Bathing when necessary, though really these guys are kind of a wash and wear breed. They can go out and get absolutely muddy and filthy, and usually by the time you walk home, all of that mud and filth is just gone. But if they do get muddy and filthy and they need a bath, a regular bath. In general, making sure teeth are kept clean and healthy, making sure the ears are kept clean and healthy, making sure the nails are trimmed down every week or ground down every week. Now, another thing that I really hate to say, but I actually have to, is this breed is an expensive breed to own. What do I mean by that? I don't mean you have to be a rich snob to own one of these dogs, but you do have to make sure that you're willing and able to purchase good quality gear. And the reason for that is because these guys are destructive, as I will mention again. Destructive, destructive, destructive. They are destructive, and they are physically very strong. And because they do have the skin sensitivities, they can be expensive. So with diets, right off the bat, buy the absolute best diet you can. Definitely avoid low quality foods that are cheap. That's going to have a bad effect. If you do go raw or home cooked, make sure you understand fully what you're feeding your dog. Talk to your vet about it. Make sure you just get them on the best quality possible from the get-go. Talk to the breeder if you're going through a breeder. Talk to the rescue if you're going through a reputable rescue. See what they have to say. As far as toys, you can't just buy cheap toys. And by cheap toys, I mean like $5, $10, $12 toys. I'm talking you need the serious, heavy-duty $20 to $30 to $40 toys. And you should expect to have to replace those fairly often. They like to eat inedible objects, and by eat I mean eat, swallow whole, no complete disregard for their own safety. They will eat metal, glass, plastic, paper, anything you hand them or anything they find, they will eat. So you have to make sure that you get super tough, super durable toys because they do have a really strong bite. So you have to make sure that you get very durable toys and you throw them away as soon as they show any type of wear and tear. So the expensive toys, make sure you get the expensive gear as far as good quality gear. Don't expect to go and just buy a regular pet store collar. It's fine for puppies, but as adults, you really want tough gear. Things like good quality leather, things like buckle collars, and good quality harness that isn't just going to tear or shred. So all in all, I really hope that this video was some help to you. If you continue to watch our channel, I do plan on putting more in-depth videos up as far as training goes. So I really want to thank you for watching the video, and yeah. Yes.